wasn't grown up in my but I wasn't grown up in my
Hello, welcome to Tomorrow Again. That's my grandson, which I'm not going to show him, but he's mocking me. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is day 6. Thumbs up this thumbs up this video if you enjoy it, and if you think you'll enjoy the content of this channel, make sure to subscribe. Most of the dryers are good. Let me see what's the kind that I have. It's there in the middle too. Usually it's the smaller one, like what I use. Oh, okay. Don't ask the friends I hang around. Don't be afraid of what you see. Hello, welcome to Tomorrow Again. I hope that you enjoy this video. This is day 6. I promised I would give it my best effort to put out a video every single day up until Christmas. And if I can do 25 days, I can do 3 or 4 times a week uploading videos and bring more and more better content. Having said that, I wanted to talk to you guys about something. It's story time. It was the 60s. I don't remember exactly what year. My grandmother took me and my sister to a laundromat in our neighborhood. And I used to dread going to that laundromat because it had a weird smell. It smelled like popcorn, and it smelled like sort of a stale smell in that laundromat. And there was a man in there. The attendant had a seeping wound that was wrapped in old gauze. Every day that we went to the laundromat, this is what I saw. And this is what I smelled. So I didn't enjoy going there. This particular day, I can still remember, it must have been spring, because I remember looking outside the door, facing away from that grotesque sight that I remember seeing and smelling. And I remember seeing the flowers bloom, the flowers that had bloomed in the sunshine, shining down bright. And I knew it wasn't summer because I can remember it was during school time. So it must have been a weekend. I kind of got it to the exact day of the week. Probably was a Saturday. I was a little girl, probably no more than 5 or 6 years old, but I remember it just like it was yesterday. My grandmother was washing the clothes, and she was one of those types of grandmothers, just go sit down and let me do it. and she'd give my sister and I 50 cents or 20 cents, whatever it was, to buy candy out of the machine, and that was a treat. That kept us quiet for a while. And I think sometimes if we had a little change left over, we would put our change together, get a drink, or get some popcorn out of the machine. One thing I never liked is when my grandmother would start yakking and yakking and talking to people, because it seemed like the more she would talk, the longer we would have to stay wherever it was we were, which was usually somewhere that was extremely boring to me. And I just kind of watched her while I was chomping on my candy. In the meantime, my sister left and went with my dad. He came by the laundromat to pick her up to take her to some event. I can't remember where right now, but because I had been acting up, my grandmother said I couldn't go, so I had to stay with her and just watch her and this boring conversation with these people. I can remember the man. He reminded me a little bit of my uncle. And I watched him. He had a similar booming voice and uh, similar presence. And if you were anywhere near him, you would stop to listen to what he was saying because he had one of those types of voices. There was a woman with him, with this man, who had very wide hips, and she had on this sort of weird looking. It looked like a almost like a pencil skirt, and it had a button up um, top that sort of matched it. And she had a really big purse, and I remember her lips were full, and she had lots of red lipstick on her lips, and her nails were partly polished, and some of the polish had crumbled off. And I watched, and I looked away, and I watched, and I looked away. Because back in those days, you were told to be seen and not heard. So when grown people were talking, you didn't interfere. So I just would kind of look away and hope that they would leave so that I could ask my grandmother for something else. Finally, they left, and I asked my grandmother if the clothes were done, could we go home? And by that time they were. She was had started folding the clothes, and she put them inside of the clothes basket, and she put a little bit in a bag for me to drag home. And I thought how lucky my sister was. My dad came and got her, so she didn't have to fool with any laundry. Lucky me. We walked, and by this time it was getting a little late, but it was still bright sunshine out. Um, we walked a good, maybe 3 or 4 blocks, and we got home. And my grandmother proceeded to take the clothes out and hand me my clothes that I was supposed to put up. And the telephone rang, and I heard my grandmother gasp. And I thought, what is going on? What's wrong? Something's wrong. And I heard her say, I just saw them. And then a few minutes later, she hung the phone up, and my dad and my sister uh, came home, and she was telling my dad about it. And my aunt had told her that this man and this woman had gotten killed in a car accident a couple of days before the day at the laundromat. And she said, There's no way. There is no way that could have happened. I just was talking to them. And I didn't say anything. She said, Liz, well, they called me Elizabeth back in those days. Elizabeth, don't you remember those people that I was talking to at the laundromat? I was like, no, because I didn't want her to know that I had been listening. I had been in her conversation, and that was a no-no back in those days, so I didn't say anything. The people that my grandmother was talking to had seen them maybe a couple of times here and there, but I didn't know them. Apparently, she couldn't have been talking to them because they were dead. They both had died a few days earlier, and I never told her. But I saw them too. I heard them. I'll never forget this, and I never acknowledged to anyone until now that I saw those people. This is Tomorrow Again. If you enjoyed this story time, if you would like to subscribe to this channel, please feel free to subscribe and share the video with whoever you feel the need to share it with. Thank you.